Hello again. The 2003 World Championship was a tournament of records. Stephen Hendry made his 100th ton at the Crucible. Paul Hunter scored the 750th in Crucible history. And Ronnie O'Sullivan excited the crowds with a maximum break in round one against Marco Fu. But we were to reach even greater heights of excitement and drama in a semi-final that featured the popular 24-year-old Paul Hunter from Yorkshire and Ireland's former Crucible king, Ken Doherty.
Paul, was one of the top players in 2003, and actually he was one of the favourites to win the World Championship that year because he'd been playing so well. He was a great entertainer, great long putter, great break builder. You know, the people loved him. Beckham of the Bays was his nickname. He had all the looks going for him. And then there was me.
He was one of my best friends. He liked to laugh. You know, we had a lot of fun together. You know, but on the table he was, you know, he wanted to win at all costs. You know, he was a great player.
Paul Hunter was widely considered by many as a champion in waiting at the Crucible. At 24 years of age, he was already a double Masters champion, and a lot of people thought that 2003 would be his year in Sheffield. He'd already beaten the defending champion, Peter Ebdon, in a final frame decider in the quarter-final, and was soon taking Doherty apart in the first session of this semi. 8-4 he led as we picked them up in frame 13.
Thank you. 13th frame, Paul Hunter to break. Foul. Paul Hunter 4.
Cut that safety a little too thin. Long straight putt to stick on the black. Which, being slightly protected by a red to the right of it, led to Hunter's decision to go back up for blue.
Just coming around to have a look at what's available. Black out of commission at the moment, as is the pink, but if he could drop nicely on... he's got a choice of reds to play for. He just looked to see if he could get on the red to the right of the black, but that might be a few shots ahead. Well, straight away he's tried to get onto it. He had the one for the right middle. So if he's got an angle on this one, and the black's available into the opposite corner, this would open things up.
7.
So this is a promising start after the mid-session interval here.
14. $15.
Wasn't a good pack to go into
22.
the way they're sitting there.
23.
And still a couple of reds available before he has to disturb anything.
$28.
Now the important shot coming up now. This cannon, the left of the two reds, the one will be available into the right, the one next to the cue ball. So if this works out nicely, he could open quite a few reds up here.
$36.
We talk about Paul's temperament,
37.
Clive, and I think that match against Peter Ebden, when Peter played two flawless frames to draw level at 12 each, the way he clinched the deciding frame, he's got everything, this young man, hasn't he?
A very cool temperament. Gritty when he's behind, and he's got the killer instinct when he has a chance to win.
See, even that shot there, I mean, that was awkward cueing there.
44.
Play the cannon with the amount of screw. Just watch the reaction on the white. Top drawer there.
45.
And he'd have to miss something very straightforward not to clinch the frame here. He's done all the hard work. He's had breaks of 50, 61 in frame 11, a 73
52.
in frame 12, and now this.
53.
There've been a couple of well-judged pack openers in this break.
$60. $61.
But we're at the stage now where you see the best snooker being played. When you get to the semi-final stages of the Embassy World Championship, one table, no distraction from the other side of the arena. It doesn't get any better than this.
$68.
So this is effectively frame ball.
69.
And it's amazing how the audience know when the frame is safe. You always get a round of applause, so they really do
76.
know their snooker here in the Crucible.
77. $82. 83.
Right from the start of the tournament, Hunter has been very fluent and assured. when there's been a big break on,
89.
he's usually made it.
And this reminds me
90.
of a few seasons ago when he played Fergal O'Brien in the final of the Masters and was 6-2 down. He came out in the evening and he made 4 centuries in 6 frames and almost equalled Stephen Hendry's 5 centuries in 7 frames, something I thought would never
96.
be equalled, and this young man almost achieved that. But 4 centuries in 6 frames.
'97. Two. 103. 108. 110. 113.
This is quality. It's so helpful in long matches.
117.
If you can win frames in a single scoring visit, it's taking less out of you that way.
122.
Well, that white flew off the top cushion. It really is quick out there.
128. 135.
And with that clearance of 135, Paul Hunter goes 5 frames clear. He leads by 9 frames to 4.
If there's a half chance, he'll have a go at it, but there isn't one there this time. And this is a bit of a chance for Ken. He can pot this red, and with a little touch aside can avoid the cannon onto the other red there, that's closest to it. Oh, it didn't completely avoid it, but it's been a help there. Just catching it slightly has kept him in position. As long as he didn't hit it full ball. Ken, in this session, has only made 2 mistakes.
4.
Frame before the mid-session interval, took his eye off of Brown. He was concentrating on the white, and it cost him the frame. Paul had a 73 clearance, and he missed a black in the frame before, and same thing happened.
5.
Although at the time, Clive, you said the black had just dipped onto the top cushion, and you were right, because I spoke to Ken's friend Mick in the dressing room, and he said it just drifted slightly, that black.
Just a second.
Colin Brinded, you might have heard him just say, just a sec, Ken. That's because the pink won't go on its own spot and all the others are occupied, so he's got to get it in a direct line behind it without touching that red. So that puts the pink out of commission now. So he's only got the blue to
11.
work with for the time being. He might just elect to cannon the 2 reds and pink. That's not all that bad. He's freed the pink.
70.
The one he's looking at would be a bit risky. He's thinking of potting one in the left corner, the one above the pink, and cannoning the red and black, but he wants to keep at the table, so he's playing for the blue again.
18.
Well, he'll have a look at that red again, because that's
23.
still a possibility. He's going to still have to concentrate on the blue.
24. $29. $30.
Just depends where the pink goes. Not sure if the spot's available. Those 2 reds, I think, are on it. And if it goes onto the black, it might just be available into the pocket he's just potted it into. And it does.
36. $37.
I was just thinking, Clive, it was a similar type shot to that when he rolled the black along, and that was the one that stayed over the pocket, and he lost the frame, but no problem this time. In fact, we mentioned that black, and it was in the 3rd frame. Just watch this. When he first hit it, it looked right in the
43.
pocket. And just touch that near knuckle.
$44. That mistake cost him that frame. He's built up a useful lead in this one. $49.
The standard in this session has been as good as any session we've seen this year in the Embassy Championship. It really has been top class. Ken's had breaks of 62, 111, and then Paul's had breaks of 50, 61, 73, and 135, and now this here. Bit special.
56. $61.
Just this red then will secure the frame for Doherty.
And he's clinched this frame without the aid of the black. The black has been tied up until that last shot, and Ken brought it into play.
68.
Been a good break, this.
$69.
He develops an awkward red.
76. 77. $79.
Pity he lost position for the black.
Well, the way he's going, this might go in the corner pocket.
And now that it has, we've got the prospect of back-to-back total clearances.
87.
Hunter potted all 15 reds with colours,
88.
plus the colours in sequence to make 135 in the last frame. And this could be a total clearance in reply from Doherty.
95. 97.
This will get a terrific round of applause, this.
100. 104.
You could say it live, this is just what the doc ordered.
109.
The quality of this effort from Doherty shows that he's still capable of winning this match. But his opponent is playing exceptionally well too.
Yep, a fantastic break by Ken, but try as he might, he was continuously outplayed by the flamboyant youngster. And breaks of 84 and 92 extended Hunter's lead to 5 as we rejoin them in frame 18.
Fully committed. Had he have missed this red, he was leaving a sitter for Paul Hunter, the one next to the black. Maybe just gone a little bit too far this time. Wanted to be straighter on this red. Let's see if he can
8.
avoid not hitting the black and staying on it. Yep.
9.
And now if he can catch the reds, not the middle red, just the end would be better. That's perfect.
$16.
Took the cue ball through the thinner part of the bunch.
$17.
Which made it virtually certain that he was going to finish on a red. If he'd gone into the heart of the bunch, the cue ball could have stuck on it.
22.
Well, Paul Hunter hasn't had a chance yet.
$23.
But he's very cool. He won't be getting bothered yet.
Yes, I think after that final frame against Peter Ebden, after Peter made 270-plus breaks to level, he kept his cool and first chance in the deciding frame, and he won it. He's got the complete game, it's Paul Hunter.
29.
He's thinking 2 or 3 shots ahead, looking to see if the black would pass the red to the left of it there.
$35.
And I think the first 3 frames this morning only lasted 35 minutes, Clive, and well, that first one was less than 10 minutes.
36.
Now, it must be fairly tight because he's had 2 or 3 looks at this.
$43. 44.
He hadn't quite got the angle to go into the reds that time because he
51.
could have done and left this red on, so he may have to go in to the reds after.
52.
Thought for a moment he almost missed that. He was way ahead of himself there. So it's all about this cannon. Once again, he doesn't want to go into the middle of the reds. He could stick in there. And that's exactly what he's done. So he would like to take that one again.
59.
And not an easy safety shot by the looks of things. All he can do is just roll into them.
Ken Doherty, 59.
Not a touching ball.
Well, he's got the cue over there. That's where I was going to put the little white ball. If he leaves the white over there, thin off this red, everything would be fairly safe. As long as he doesn't push this one into a potable position that he's going to glance off.
Well, maybe that could have been foreseen. Played the snick away to baulk, but in doing so, shunted a red dangerously near the right corner.
Got to watch the white is going towards that red over on the left side of the table if it goes round the back of the black.
One.
That was the problem. It was a natural angle to hit that red. So one long blue, and he screws back. And moving that red will work to his advantage now.
6.
There was only one red safe. I don't think he intended to move it, but a great pot. But he nudged that red into a potable position, and they're all on now.
So,
This would be a body blow for Doherty if Hunter cleared up here. Had a flying start to the session. 92 break in the opening frame. First in with 59 in this one.
14. 15. 22. 23.
'He'd have to make an elementary mistake,
29.
and he didn't make many in this morning's session. And as you said,
30.
Clive, what a frame this would be to pinch. Be a real body blow, but a real boost to the young man from Leeds. And that smile on his face when Alan Hughes, the MC, introduced him, the man with the golden cue. I like that.
37. 42. 43.
Very fluent, very assured, very confident.
48. 50.
So just one mistake from Ken when he tried to open the reds up and stuck in amongst them. And that's all this young man seems to need.
53.
This was the shot. Didn't quite get the cannon as he wanted.
57.
Blue and pink is sufficient.
62. 68.
Doherty was in first with 59 in this frame and seems to be on his way to reducing his arrears to 4 frames. But it's Hunter with a 75 clearance who goes 6 clear at 12-6.
But Paul Hunter just blew me away the first 3 sessions. I was trying to just hang on to his coattails. And going into the last session, I was 15-9 down. I had to win 8 of the 9 frames that we were due to play in that afternoon session. Nobody gave me a prayer. I didn't give myself a prayer. All I wanted to do was try and make it hard for him, try and just stick in, just try and use that sort of determined, sort of fighting Irish spirit that, you know, that we're all sort of renowned for, and try and not give it to him too easy.
Well, that fighting Irish spirit was clearly evident as we went into the final session on that fateful Saturday afternoon. Ken made breaks of 73 and 93 to reduce his arrears to only 4 frames now. We're going to pick them back up in frame 27. Paul's made 31 points here, but he is out of position on the black.
And what sort of shot was that he's just played?
423.
I thought he would have tied the black up, put it on the cushion, left the white on the cushion. He's left a pot on here, Clive.
I don't think he could see what he was doing, reaching over like that.
Well, that would do it. Oh, that's a useful little nudge. I think at one stage it looked as if the white was going to drop on the blue. But yeah, you mentioned Clive. Yeah, he couldn't really see exactly what he was doing, but he didn't need to hit it at that pace.
Six. Seven.
There's a couple of reds that will pot into the right corner. Ken's got the perfect angle on the yellow just to come off the side cushion and up for one of the reds near the pink.
Nine.
Now, if he can reach this, he's going to have to use the extension. There might be just a gap to pot that red that he's looking at and just screw into the gap. Now, if he can pot that red and just screw between the others, he'd finish nicely on the black. Even if he touched one of the reds on the way through, he'd still be okay. Judged this very well. Didn't matter touching a red as long as he only touched it gently. Yeah, the pink's not available at present. He might have to just head up towards the blue here. Just a quick glance at the scoreboard, but he's got a long way to go here in this frame, but he's at the table. That's the main thing. Just too thin a cut to hold for the Blues, so he's got quite a bit to do yet here. This is far from a clear-cut chance just yet.
Extension on the cue. Preferred to a rest shot.
Going to have to leave himself a longish pot by the looks of things. Yeah, he couldn't do much better than that, so big shot coming up.
20.
Red into the left corner. Screw the white across. He would finish on the black if he pots it. That's the sort of angle he would be looking at. It's not straightforward. Well, he's got there 28 of two cushions. Very well played.
Just skimmed across the face of the black.
He hasn't put a foot wrong. He hasn't made one mistake. At the moment, he's played
28.
2 immaculate frames, plus this.
29.
Not the cleanest of contacts.
$36. Ken Doherty, 36.
Well, that's the first slip up, and it could be very costly, and it was a pretty straightforward pot as well. I think he was just thinking about the white. He never dreamt he would miss this.
One.
The way appeared clear for Doherty to reduce his arrears to 3 frames. This is Hunter's chance to go 5 up with 6 to play, assuming that he's still on that red to left middle.
8.
Only just, I think. Very tight, obviously, and he wouldn't be looking at it this long. Well, he's not on it. This is a much more difficult pot.
Nine.
Well, we've said about him being a cool customer. He played a poor positional shot, and he pulled out a difficult pot there.
$16.
This match would be more or less level, but for Doherty unexpectedly missing easy balls like that. There have been about 4 or 5 of them in this match.
Well, that's not the best positional shot that Paul's ever played. He can still cut the pink in, but it's quite a thin one. He'll have to come twice across the table to finish on that red. He'll want to finish in between that red and the blue.
$23. $24.
So he's going to need the yellow. He's got the perfect angle on the black just to slide the white past pink and blue and leave a pretty straightforward yellow.
$31.
Well, that's the first sign of weakness from Paul Hunter. He put a quick one in there. He's such a smooth cueist, but he wasn't smooth on that one. He really did just give a little bit of it. Just watch the cue, you could see that there.
And that was for 5 up with 6 to play.
And just have a look at this shot that Ken has played. What a difference
5.
that missed yellow could make. That certainly, we've talked about Paul's temperament. He's
9.
still got a bit to do, and he's left that a little bit short. He's going to have to come off the top cushion. How's the pace on the white? It's pretty good.
Pink and black still needed.
$20.
It looked certain that Paul Hunter would go 5 up with 6 to play, but Ken Doherty reduces the gap to 3 frames, which is the least it's been since it was 7-4. Hunter's lead now reduced to 15-12.
Frame 27 was crucial. He's 26 points ahead, and he looks like he's going to win the frame. He just needs the yellow. There's 27 left on the table. He has a straightforward yellow into its own pocket, just come off the cushion and onto the green. Okay, it's a sort of mid-distance pot, but it's a pot you'd always fancy getting, and I'd never thought he was going to miss it. And what happened? It jangled, and I potted the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, and black. And all of a sudden now, I've closed the gap even further, and that's when the tension sort of started to build, you know.
Well, a round of applause, but I think he's left Paul the red at the back of the pack. He didn't escape from that as he intended. And that's just the sort of pot that Paul needs to settle him down again after that miss on the yellow. He might just be okay. He's having a long, hard look. He might be able to get to the potting angle with that red to the right of the bunch. What has he spotted? Is there something that'll go in the middle pocket? He can get through the gap, can he? Past the pink? No. Yes.
9.
It looked as if it was going to hit that near knuckle. Now, how's the luck this time? It could have been better. He's covered everything into the right corner, everything into the left corner. He's got one to the middle. He's looking at the possible plant, but there's quite a distance between the two reds. Not straightforward here. That was a bit unlucky there. You don't really want to be trying to make that plant at this stage. Well, can he get through to pot the other one? Well, there you go.
17.
I think he had to bend that, Clive, because he never looked at that one before, did he?
Yes, he did use right of centre striking.
$24. $25.
Just slightly the wrong side of the blue, but there might be a red either side that he can play on. just by dropping the blue in. Might need the extension on his cue to reach this. It's a bit awkward. That corner pocket's going to be in Paul's way slightly when he reaches over the table.
30.
We've got a mid-session interval coming up after this frame. I think a lot of people, well, most people in the Crucible didn't think we were going to get to a mid-session interval live.
38. $39.
We are going to have one, and if Hunter were to lose this frame, I imagine that that 20-minute interval would be a time of some anguish. Oh, what a thumping kick.
439.
Now, that is so unlucky that, but look at the black jump. Absolutely amazing. And Paul, well, he smiles about it, but that was so unfortunate there. I thought for a moment he might have got away with it, that the black was going to cover the pocket for this red, but there's a gap past. And I think there's a little bit of tension creeping in again. Quite a bit of tension, actually. So Ken has let him off the hook.
He's starting to get anxious, isn't he, Dennis? And if he lost this frame, he'd be very anxious in the mid-session break.
Yes, I think that bad contact on the black, because he looked like he was going to go on and clinch the frame, and well, both players have missed sitters there. But that all adds to the tension and the excitement of the Crucible Theatre. It really is fabulous to be out there. Nerve-wracking, but very enjoyable.
A long way out.
You can only see one red, and he might have to have a go at it. That's the only red you can see on the table to hit. Now, wouldn't it be ironic if he knocked this in after the one he just missed? He's got the white where he wanted, but there's a red coming up as well. He's okay though, but Ken could have the advantage. A snooker at this stage with the reds and colours as they are, and even though he's 44 points behind, could give him a chance to get right back into this frame. Might be a bit difficult to get the snooker, but he needs that white tight on the cushion.
looking to see if he could cover the red to left middle.
You could hear a pin drop out there. Terrific shot. That's as good a safety shot as you'll see, because he's put Ken bang in trouble. No way back down the table. The only chance is to screw the white down, and where's this red going to go? I don't even know if he can see enough of it to play that shot. Well, this red could go anywhere if he takes this on. Now that's unusual, to put the extension on your cue, playing the white from that position. Is it giving him a little bit more weight to screw the white back? He was in a tough spot there, and he hasn't got out of it.
And he's already 44 behind. I think you had a point about the heavier cue, though, Dennis. The American pool players break off with a heavier cue than they use for the rest of the game.
It's just I've never seen it done before, Clive. Already 48 in front. In a couple of shots' time, in perfect position, you would feel.
Five.
So as long as he gets nicely onto a red, and there shouldn't be any problem. He's got 4 or 5 reds to finish on here. And he created this chance with a magnificent safety shot. This was the one. Absolutely superb. He's let it slip. He's let that slip. That was a straightforward cannon onto the red to leave the pink available.
It looked like a clear run to the line, but this looks like an attack of clincher's disease, making unexpected errors.
$408.
Within sight of the winning post.
Well, with that 52-point lead, you'd still have to make him a favourite for this frame. He's kept the brown with his last shot reasonably safe, keeping it close to the cushion. Well, that was so close. He got a good white again. When I say a good white, Ken Doherty needs a good white here, because this is a thin snick. The white will be heading up towards the red and blue. And he's got a good kiss, a very fortuitous kiss. And a chance to get right back into it.
Hunter continues to be put through the ringer. The general expectation was that he would clinch a comfortable victory this afternoon. The general expectation was wrong.
So, eight.
Took the chance to develop that red there. So with the red being so close to the pocket, not sure what was going to happen to white.
15.
But what a nice kiss to leave the easy pink on. Now, how
16.
much apart will that brown that's off its spot play in this frame? He's got quite a few balls to pot before he gets there. But that's the only one that's reasonably safe.
$23. $24.
You need plenty of self-belief to withstand this sort of pressure. At some point, Hunter's got to come out this afternoon and do the business.
31.
Well, there's a lot of snooker left in this frame. If Paul Hunter wins this frame, I think he'd be a comfortable winner. If Ken Doherty nicks this frame, what a semi-final we could be left with.
$32.
He won't do anything about the brown until he pots the yellow, leaves an angle for the green, and then he'll worry about the brown.
$37. $38.
He wants to be dead straight on the yellow so that he can pot it and screw straight back to more or less where the white is now. So it's all about getting a good angle on the green to give himself a chance to do something
40.
about that brown.
$42.
Well, just looking at it, he's gone a little bit too far. So what he might do is try and play this with right-hand side as you look at it to take the white off that bottom cushion and drop in behind the brown. It would give him a choice of pockets. How's the pace on the white? It's
45.
the corner. What a big shot this is.
It would give Doherty a passport to take the frame.
Absolutely amazing.
54.
He's played 3 perfect frames. They've both missed a few in this frame.
At the start of play, Paul Hunter was within 2 frames of a place in the final. He still is, but his lead has been reduced to only 2 frames. Hunter leads by 15 frames to 13.
So the pressure level's really beginning to squeeze these players, and Paul in particular, because his once commanding 5-frame lead is now down to 2. In we go to frame 29, and it's Paul, 11 points behind, 1 red left.
Where's that red going? You would have to say that the run of the ball at the moment is slightly favouring Ken.
If the red had dropped in, as it well could have done, it would have given Hunter an excellent chance to take the frame.
One.
He's okay because the yellow goes to the same pocket that he's taking the brown. Just looking at it. And that's read perfectly. What a fight back from Ken Doherty.
Hunter can only wait to see whether Doherty clinches this frame to reduce his lead to 1.
So. 10.
Just needs the brown to keep the comeback on track.
14.
Amazing.
$19.
The 5-frame winning streak for Doherty. He's only 1 behind. Hunter's lead is reduced to 15-14.
One.
Was always going to play the pink next, but would have preferred to have been able to reach it without artificial aids.
And the blue's not helping either. It's the fact that he has to get quite a bit of power into this to give himself a possible pot on the next red. He had a look at the red into the left middle pocket. That's not an option. It's far too an acute angle.
Seven.
He's usually pretty reliable with the rest, but at this stage of the match, you want to be getting your hand on the table.
Eight.
Not quite far enough back with the white. I don't think he can cannon the red. He tried, and he got very close to leaving an angle to pop the pink and cannon that red. The white's going away from it now. But that's second best. He was trying to swing that all the way around the angles and avoid the green and brown. Good shot. Brilliant shot.
Which potentially could create the opening Hunter needs to go 2 up with 3 to play.
Good escape. And not that straightforward to send the red back up the table. He's got to be careful. The brown's in the way, I think. But this is difficult. Where's the red? Where's the red going? It's Ken's turn to have a little bit of bad luck to push the red over the pocket. But not easy for Paul to get good position with the red being so close to that pocket. He's got to force this.
What?
If he could have forced out another 4 or 5 inches, it would have been so much easier.
What a test for this young man. That's pretty cool. That was a terrific pot. Awkward cueing.
Yes.
Had to just drop the yellow in
3.
to stay on it.
The crowd absolutely engrossed. A crowd which I'm sure didn't expect to finish like this.
He's overscrewed it, has he? Not quite. But I don't think the brown passes the pink. That's what Paul was having a look at there. And if it doesn't, he might not have the angle to leave it to the opposite corner. It's very tight. He's got the perfect angle on the green to screw up behind the brown. But I don't think it passes the pink, so he might just screw up into them.
He's still got a shot at it. Brown and blue needed.
Where's the brown going?
Paul Hunter 8.
He seemed to hit that a little bit harder than he needed.
That's anxiety doing its work.
It is amazing, but this is the sort of thing that can happen out there in the Crucible Theatre. At this stage, anything can be missed.
That was Doherty's chance to level the match, although he needed the other colours as well.
Well, this is far from easy. held his nerve that time.
4.
That was a difficult pot.
The blue was the clinching colour. Doherty had his chance to level the match, but with a huge sigh of relief, Hunter took the frame to go 2 up with 3 to play at 16-14.
Another terrific safety shot. He really has Ken in trouble here, although we can see the one red. It's so difficult to snick that red and get the white back down the table. Well, he snookered almost full ball on that. He's going to have to give this a little bit of thought. He's going to play the swerve shot, although we can hit the other red, so this is risky. And
Foul. And
we'll have to go back again. It might even be a free ball, which might, if it's a free ball, it's not a free ball. If it had been a free ball, Paul could have played the yellow and put the white tight up against the brown. Ken's reluctant to move the other red. He knows how difficult it is to get safe from the red that's tight on the cushion. That's why he's swerving around the brown.
I don't know.
So we'll just show you that's where it was before. And let's have a look where they've got them now. That's not too far away. Almost perfect. Well done, Colin Brinded. That wasn't easy, but he's a very capable ref, is Colin. Try number 2. Too much. Now then.
Foul and miss.
Now then, if Paul doesn't fancy this
4
red,
to 6.
he may take the red on, but if he put it back and Ken did the same thing, the 3 miss and you lose the frame would have applied there, Clive.
It would, but Hunter saw a ball on the pocket.
Good cueing. Awkward bridging, but excellent cueing there. If the red's tight on the cushion, it will help the pot. That's what, and it's not quite tight, so this is not a straightforward pot. Wasn't easy.
Paul Hunter 8.
But it's perfectly safe.
And the last few exchanges,
Quiet, please. Thank you.
including this failure at that difficult red. The last few exchanges have changed the position. And both players now need to pot the green. 5 minutes ago, Doherty could have won this frame without it.
This could be a snooker. He has played some fantastic safety shots. not a snooker, but Ken will settle for the outcome. You never know where you're going to knock a red when you're snookered like that. Is he taking it on? He took it on because the green was safe. He knew it was highly unlikely. If he missed it, he would leave the lot on. Not a bad result for the red to finish up there. That's a good shot also.
Foul and a miss. Ken Doherty 4.
Foul and a miss because just caught the brown. Ken won't have them put back. But this is a pressure red here. This crowd in the Crucible came here this afternoon at 15-9. They thought they were just going to have a casual little afternoon. Relaxed in the Crucible. They're all on their edges of their seat now.
One.
Excellent putt. Blue no problem, yellow no problem. But what about the green? It's better placed than it was a few minutes ago.
And it's the green that Ken pushed safe when he made the 52 break.
Had a kick there. Would have been straighter on the yellow but for that.
6.
Well, that could make such a difference because now he hasn't got the angle to screw back behind the green. He might still have, but he's going to have to use the rest. But what a shot he's faced with. He's got to screw over behind that green. His plan, if he had have gone a bit further, was to pot the yellow and try and screw over behind that green. To do that with the rest would have to be some shot. If he doesn't and cannons the brown, it could spoil things. But he must pot the yellow. Couldn't avoid the cannon on the brown, so you're never guaranteed what's going to happen to that cue ball.
It's also knocked the brown to a worse position. Doherty tried to get behind it. But bang in front of it. It's pretty awkward.
That's as good as a snooker. Although he can hit the green, he might leave it on for the right corner. He did well to get that amount of power on it striking over the brown, and that's pretty good. No way he can pot the green and get to the brown.
3. And Doherty 3.
Knocking the pink safe has made it very difficult for Paul Hunter. Ken only needs the brown and blue. Paul needs them all. Started off with a ripple of applause there, and as the brown got closer to the cushion, it got louder. They appreciated the strength of that shot. Look where he's placed the brown.
Is Doherty going to go for this? Needing just blue in addition. Six inches further towards the brown, I'm pretty sure he would. Decided on the crossover safety. Yes. But not his best. His consolation, though, is that Hunter can't win the frame without the pink.
Well, if you're playing an exhibition, you try and pot the brown and move the pink and finish on the blue. This is not an exhibition. But he still tried it. He still tried it. 4. What a brave shot. And he was a bit unlucky. What an effort.
Paul Hunter 4.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't think he tried to move the pink, because Ken only needs the blue. This could get him back to just one frame behind. Big shot.
Went all out for it and has been very pleased to see the blue run safe.
With the pink in the situation it is, Ken is a slight favourite for this frame. He's not now. It's anyone's frame now. That was such a good shot. Whoever pots the blue, you would fancy to take the frame.
Doherty walks around anxiously to see whether he's covered the blue with the pink, and he has covered the potting angle.
Well, if he has to come off the top cushion, you're never sure where you're going to knock the blue. You're hoping it will go safe. This is a chance.
Doherty needing this blue to get back to one behind. Hunter needing this frame for a place in the final.
He's fluked a snooker. He has fluked a snooker. Ken holds his hand up on the way around the table to apologise, but just look at that, a full ball snooker. The white's in. It's not. Another chance, but he missed the previous one by a long way. Big, big shot.
What a time for a fluke. Unbelievable. It was frame ball.
Well, Ken has played that blue. He's hit it so hard, I don't know why. But what a fluke. But why did he hit the blue so hard?
Ken Doherty, 5.
I didn't expect him to play it pocket weight, but I didn't expect him to play it like that.
Not quite a snooker. He must have left a chance this time.
I thought that Hunter should have played something more conservative there. Just get the pink safe and wait for a better chance. So this incredible semi-final continues. Paul Hunter is still 1 up with 2 to play. But Doherty had to win, had to flip that last frame to keep in contention.
I couldn't believe he hit it so hard, but he won't bother about that now. What a fluke as he looks to the heavens.
That was a huge frame, a really big frame, because that sort of, instead of losing, because he could have won that match there and then 17-14, but all of a sudden now it's 16-15 and 1 down with 2 to play. The pressure and the confidence that it gave me, the pressure that it sort of built up on Paul, his sort of head went down a little bit.
He's got to be a bit careful with the next shot. If he's looking at playing off that red to double it across and get the white back up the table, he has to be careful of the double kiss. There is a possible pot on, but it's just far too risky. He can pot the one that's in the circle, and that looks as if it's the one he's going to have a go at. Watch the white. Very risky, that one.
But perhaps he thought it no more difficult than the safety.
One.
Is he on a red? Is it gone too far? He's perfect.
6.
Choice of reds.
So.
And I know there's a gentleman up in Scotland who'll be watching this with a lot of interest. He's had a little flutter on Ken Doherty. He's the manager of Celtic, Martin O'Neill, who's a great snooker fan. I don't know what odds he got, but I bet he's biting his nails as well here.
$30. $40.
Not much to do with the cue ball here to leave a red for the opposite middle pocket. He's got one that's up near the black spot he can also play for, but I would think he'd play for that one to the right middle. Ooh, he played for the other one. It meant he had to hit it a little bit harder, and that pink well, almost came out of the pocket.
$21.
He's having a look at the score. 25 the difference. Is he going to play to develop that difficult red? He sure is.
28.
Pink, red colour would see Doherty past the post in this frame.
And that cannon from red to red, when he potted the red to develop the red, was a great
34.
shot. We're going into a deciding frame.
35. .42
to go. 40 in front with only 35 on the table.
Ken Doherty, 42.
Both these players are giving everything they've got out there. 2 snookers required at the moment.
Hunter's attempt to lay a snooker went badly wrong. That red puts the frame beyond doubt. This match is going the full 33 frames.
Ken Doherty, 1 on the frame.
It's 16 all. How incredible.
The momentum was now all with the wily Irishman. And perhaps recent history was on his side too. After all, he had prevailed in 2 final frames already in the earlier rounds of the championship. This was proving to be a marathon effort for them both.
Deciding frame, Paul Hunter to break.
And how seriously, I wonder, did Hunter consider the possibility of a recovery like this from his opponent? Of course, he knew that it was logically possible, but surely in his heart he thought, well, I've only got to win 2 frames.
He did it in his quarter-final against Peter Ebden, although Peter had only won 2 frames to draw level. Can he do it again? We've talked about his temperament time and time again. This is the ultimate test for this young player. Is he on the red? Has he gone far enough?
6.
It looks so tight. He couldn't pot it without playing it with side. The blue was a bad shot. He didn't get onto the red. He was trying to just swerve it slightly to make the angle. Well, he's got a straight
8.
red to the corner. It wasn't the red that he played for.
Nine.
Is the experience going to tell in this deciding frame?
16.
No doubt about it. Doherty has played so well to put Hunter under pressure that Hunter has wilted.
17.
Hunter's highest break this afternoon is a modest 39. He's made only 3 over 30, and he's normally such a prolific break builder.
But the young man's in completely new territory. Semi-final of a World Championship, the Crucible Theatre.
Yes. 24.
What are the thoughts that's running through Paul's mind at the moment? He knows that this is not a great chance for Ken just yet.
$25.
Just that one red before Ken's got to go into them. I don't think he's got an angle here to go into the reds. He wanted to white a little bit further to the left to be able to cannon the red, so he may just play for that single red.
$32.
Now this is the shot. He doesn't want to screw into the middle of the 3 reds, otherwise the white will stick there. He wants to stun this. Big shot. He's not on one. I think they're all covered to the left corner.
40.
Well, is there a gap? Doesn't look to be.
Ken Doherty, 40.
He has to settle with a 34-point lead and a good length safety.
Is he looking at the pot? Well, there's gasps coming from the audience here. He's got away with it. I don't think the red will pass the green. No way, it's full ball.
Plenty of tension there, but not as much, I fancy, as there is in Hunter's stomach at the moment.
Where's that cue ball? Is there a path through for the red that's over the corner? Can he get past the blue? He might have to swerve it a little touch. I'm not guaranteed to get position, even if he pots it. But that last shot from Paul Hunter has opened the reds right up. He's got to bend it slightly.
But not too much.
One.
one more good shot. If he pots the blue and avoids the brown and the green, he could be in the final. He hasn't avoided the green. This red that's near the middle is a thin snick now.
6.
I think he can go around the back of the other red and back up towards the blue. The natural angle will take him around the back of the red. But where's the white going to finish? That is quite fortunate if the pink pots. He didn't know what was going to happen, the cue ball there, but he got the main part of the shot. He potted the red, relied on a bit of good fortune. He's had it.
Hunter knows that the match is now in Doherty's hands. Doherty has got to contain his excitement.
Absolutely unbelievable, this
30.
semi-final.
$40.
Ken Doherty is one of the nicest lads you could ever wish to meet, always laughing and joking around the Crucible Theatre, but when he gets onto a snooker table,
19.
he's a little terrier.
20.
Paul Hunter is getting resigned to defeat. It's an easy match clinching opportunity. And it'll be a bitter disappointment for him.
Yes, there was times today when Paul didn't get the run of the ball when he needed
25.
it. But he will be the first to congratulate Ken Doherty, because he will know that this is one of the best comebacks seen at the Crucible.
This red is match ball in terms of leaving Hunter needing a snooker.
Regardless of what happens, Paul Hunter has done so much for the game of snooker here over the last 2 weeks. This man is a great ambassador for the game of snooker, and he puffs his cheeks out. What a performance.
Unbelievable. Ken Doherty, 32.
Paul Hunter, I think, is in shock. He just can't believe what's happened here.
Crushing disappointment for the young Yorkshireman, who in my experience has always been modest in victory, generous in defeat. He's never moaned. But this is going to take some getting over, unless miraculously he gets the snookers he needs.
If he could get a chance, he needs to take 3 reds, 3 blacks. What is Ken Doherty feeling inside? I bet he can't believe that he's pulled this off.
Players have won big matches here from a long way behind. You've done it yourself, Dennis, but not from so many behind, so near the winning post.
I think we'll have a handshake.
An absolutely unbelievable afternoon, and Paul Hunter summons a gracious smile despite his crushing sense of disappointment. An incredible triumph for Ken Doherty. He had to win this concluding session 8-1 against one of the world's best players. He did. He's in the final.
Doherty produced some fantastic snooker, and Paul Hunter's gone from not missing a ball to missing a few, and Doherty got stronger and stronger.
It was one of the greatest victories that I'll ever have played in, and to do it in the semi-final of the World Championship from such a long way back, I'll never ever forget that match.
He was very dedicated, Paul Hunter, so yeah, he would have probably been a world champion.
This was, by any standards, a quite stunning comeback. It put Doherty into his third world final, where he would stage yet another comeback against Mark Williams, falling just short though, 16 frames to 18. It was Williams' title, but many will remember 2003 as Doherty's championship. After all, he played a record 123 frames in total. As for Paul Hunter, he took that semi-final defeat with grace and dignity. He went on to become a 3-times Masters champion, but very sadly, he never fulfilled his quest for the world title. He lost his battle to cancer only 3 years later. That's why that semi-final will be special and will always be remembered for so very many reasons.